This week opens up very calmly. Saturday evening, headed into the city.
What are you drinking?
An iced Thai tea.
The hospital the kids were born at had a reunion for all the kids that were born there, Northside Hospital, at the zoo. And that gives us a chance to eat our favorite Thai food, Dak Shays, which is right near the zoo. Northside Hospital had negotiated basically to open the zoo at like 6 p.m. and close at like 8, just for people who've been born in Northside Hospital, which is most of Atlanta. And while you might think 2.5 hours isn't long enough to do a zoo, the Atlanta Zoo you can pretty much do in 2 hours, if you keep moving. Star attraction's the panda.
Look at me. You're not allowed to climb into anything.
I think every parent that night probably made that statement to their kids. I don't want to come off pretentious, but seeing African wildlife like this is a little bit of a letdown when you've been to Africa. This is your second moment of Zen in this video. These are the calm moments, really. It might seem weird that a trip to the zoo constitutes a calm moment, but, well, you're about to understand. So Alice and I have decided to set this arbitrary goal for our kids. We are going to visit all 50 states before they graduate high school. All 50 states. There's home. Of course, the kids are only 4, and so the goal, we're getting after it early. And we're trying to do states that, aren't too exotic. If you're living in Georgia, then like Washington is exotic, right? Montana is exotic. South Carolina, right next door. So the idea that we go to South Carolina, we probably will go there again when they're old enough to remember. But of course, if we video it, then they'll remember everything we do, to some extent, from the videos. But the goal is all 50 states before high school. On this map here, we track the places that we go as a family. The black dots are places we've gone as a family. The red dots are places that my wife and I have gone, but the kids have not gone. And the white dots are places that I've gone that nobody else has gone. And the goal is to get as many black dots as possible on this thing here. If we didn't make it that simple. It's not good enough just to be in the state. Breathing the air and passing through does not accomplish a state. We have specific rules on how it is that you accomplish each and every state we go to. Number 1, you have to visit a place of national or regional significance. Number 2, you have to experience some geographic or topographical feature of the state, something weather or landmassy related. Number 3, you have to eat a local food. Number 4, you have to eat at a local chain, not just a single, interesting restaurant, but kind of a one that others around the state would eat at. So for example, in Georgia, we might pick something like Zaxby's. Even a Chick-fil-A, although it's kind of super regional now, would still qualify as a local chain because it's headquartered in Georgia. But like a Zaxby's would be a better example of a local chain. It started in Athens, Georgia, and then it's kind of a southeast, but still fairly regional chicken joint. Then, of course, there's the knickknacks. The kids each collect either a badge or a keychain, which we are collecting and keeping from them so that when they're old enough, they can enjoy it. Well, Mama gets a coffee mug, which means she will have 50 coffee mugs by the end of this thing. So the Fiesta ware now is it's slowly becoming less of a necessity for coffee drinking in this house. And I get something that can hang on this here wall. Let's review. Accomplish a state, we must go to a site that is nationally or regionally significant, visit a geographic or topographical element, pick up a coffee mug for Mama, pick up a badge or a keychain for the kids, pick up a local knickknack which goes on this wall for me, eat at a local restaurant, eat at a local chain, and eat a local food. Only then can we check that state off. This video is about us checking off that state. Right there. The one in the middle, Missouri. Or Missouri, because it's a border state and you can talk like that. Alright, remember our rules. So, Imo's is a local chain. They claim to be an original St. Louis style pizza. They explained that meant that it was a thin crust cut into squares with a special kind of cheese, which basically describes Aurelio's pizza. It was no Aurelio's pizza. Hit up the Standard Brewing Company. It was pretty solid. The most fun may have been Fitz's. They actually bottled their own soft drinks. And we had toasted ravioli, which is the local food. Check mark. One of Allison's friends, Stacy from the Multiples group, suggested this place on the hill. It was solid as well. Okay, so this is a free children's museum that's over by the zoo in Forest Park. We couldn't resist, so we hit it up. It doesn't really check anything. Saturday, Uncle Brad showed up with cousin Peter. There's Peter and Aunt Kristen. And we had some custard at Silky's. Okay, that concludes our food portion, unless, of course, you consider Anheuser-Busch Brewery Tour as more food. Hit up the Clydesdales. This is ridiculous. God bless capitalism. This would be the Clydesdales stable. It's just not fair to be any other horse. I'll just leave it at that. Now, I will say this much. I've been on a lot of brewery tours. Those fans were not doing anything. It was hot as hell in there. I've been on a lot of brewery tours, and I will say Budweiser knows how to brew in style. Here's Uncle Brad lining up this shot. Notice everybody's smiling. Nobody's smiling. Well, Peter is. Holland was a big fan of the big fan we found at the end. They spit you out, and then you're kind of in this little bar, and you can get whatever kind of drink you want. Okay, of course we are in St. Louis. We gotta do it. It's the Arch. Some may have called me a novice. I had plans on how I was going to get to the top. We did this instead.
Red's a child on my lap. Red's a child on my lap.
Okay, not for the claustrophobic or for the 21st century American, but whatever. It was cool. I don't know what to expect. It's something you gotta do.
All the way down there?
Site of national or regional significance? Check. Last stop was the St. Louis Zoo, which we had heard was awesome, and of course we got to compare that to the Atlanta Zoo. And
here's the problem with the Atlanta Zoo. It's not a bad zoo, and if you live in the Southeast and you're in Atlanta and you want to hit a zoo, then hit the Atlanta Zoo, by all means. But if you live within 400 miles of the St. Louis Zoo, then please don't bother, when you're in Atlanta, wasting time at the Atlanta Zoo. And here's the big difference. You see, the St. Louis Zoo is huge. It has all this room, and so they build enclosures like this. This would be the polar bear enclosure. Polar bear. And you can actually walk all the way around it, except for this part right here, which is his building that he sleeps in, I assume, at night. You can see him here when he's on land, you can see him here when he's swimming, you can see him here when he's asleep. In the Atlanta Zoo, here is the zebras and the giraffes, and the only way you can see them is from here. So you're looking from there to there to there, and they can hide behind brush here, and they can hide behind brush there. So the Atlanta Zoo, I'm convinced, just simply doesn't have enough space. And so they create these enclosures like this, and you're only going to view everything from this side.
He just sat in front of your face. He just put his booty in your face.
The St. Louis Zoo, because it has space, allows you to go all the way around a lot of its enclosures, and so you get more of an experience and more of a big chance of seeing interesting animals, and it's huge, and they love their zoo. So here's the deal. Atlanta Zoo, if you're in Atlanta, you want to go to the Atlanta Zoo, by all means, do it. But if you live within 400 or 500 miles of St. Louis, go to the St. Louis Zoo, for goodness sakes. It's free.
name this one Whitney.
And then when you come to Atlanta, there's way other cooler things to do in Atlanta, like the aquarium or the CNN Center, which you can't do anywhere else quite as well as you can do in Atlanta. But the zoo, you can do better zoos in St. Louis.
No butterfly is safe when red is on the loose.